Hey, Justin. This is my wonderful family. This is my daughter, Hannah.
Hello.
This is my son, Elijah.
Hi.
This is my son, Matthew.
Hello.
And this is my son, Isaac. And my name is Tim Krona 37 Taylor. And I am very excited to try and compete for the EVO giveaway, and I'm hoping that you'll consider me. Oh, EVO. This is always something that has been a bucket list of mine. I love the FGC. I started my journey into the FGC back in 2002. I had been in college at the time, and I was at a hyper fighting cab, and I had one person after another lining up to fight me. And at one point, the line was 20 plus people long. And as I keep defeating people and kept hearing about them talking about my play, there's just something that happened in that moment where I thought, oh wow, maybe there's something to this. Maybe I'm much better than I think. So I went looking online and found the Fort Wayne, Indiana crew, and I met individuals there that really welcomed me into the FGC, probably in the best way possible. You know these individuals, I'm sure. I know you've met many different people, but these are old school guys just like I am. I'm talking about David, Ghetto on the Rise Johnson, and Brent, Immortal / Vega / Immortal BMW, Cheeseface, Werling. And I'm sure you know Brent, especially from ST. I know you guys have met up several times, including at season beatings one time. And so they're awesome. I am so fortunate to call these guys friends. And we used to travel to tournaments together when I could afford it. Being in college, it was very expensive for me to go to a tournament because I was living on my own. I was living on a very, very small budget of only $3,000 to $5,000 a year, and I had to stretch that and really plan to make it to FGC events. And so I used to travel around the Midwest. I would go to the Fort Wayne tournament that they held at the Putt Putt Golf, which was a lot of fun. Got to meet VDO for the first time there, and man, when I saw that parry, I was like, whoa. But what was great about each experience, I felt like I was developing just these friendships with people who've enjoyed games just like I did. And that was very special to me. That was what was so awesome about the FGC. Because Brent and Dave, the way they welcomed me in, even though they were better than me, and they still are, I never felt like they treated me differently. They were all about encouraging me and laughing with me. And I mean, we developed a very close bond. And Brent especially has kept me going in the FGC. He would, because at one point I had gotten to the point where I wasn't sure if I would be continuing. Of course, I'd still be supporting by watching and cheering, but having 4 children, and always wanting to make sure I put my wife first, my family first, especially after a moment where I was thinking maybe the fighting games were becoming put too important above other things. I thought that I really needed to become that family man. And you guys know what that means, being part of the FGC. But Brent, he would still tell me about events. And he told me about a guy named Joe. And you know him as Nogoodcitizen. You also know his soon-to-be wife, Space Cake, and Amber. Brent invited me to go to Joe's Arcade in Indianapolis, Indiana. And by the way, guys, if you get a chance, go to JoJo Arcade. It's awesome. You will love it there. And I went, and there was something about the cabs, because it was all cabinets, all arcade cabinets, all these old school games, all these people having fun, having a good time, all of us talking and cheering each other on. It felt like that original experience all over again. And so you could say that my fighting spirit was rekindled going there. And I've actually been attending his events on a regular basis. Unless I have something scheduled already, I try to go to JoJo Arcade whenever they have a tournament, which is about every 4 months, every 3 to 4 months. And so that's been really fun for me. And when it comes to that competitive spirit being relit, I really feel that that has happened in a big way, because after watching EVO last year, I really wanted to go. I always wanted to go before, but once you could stream it and watch it that way, I was really happy. I thought, oh, you know what? I may not ever be able to go, but this is a good substitute. I'll enjoy doing this, which it was for a long time. Oh my goodness, the hype moments I watched on stream, and I felt so excited because I felt like I was in the moment with everyone who was in attendance. So like, for example, Justin, your fight against Daigo in Street Fighter 4, or the grand finals, which was the grand finals between PR Balrog and Viscount. I felt like I was part of it. And then that last year, that's when I felt like, you know what? I'm not sure it's just enough to watch the stream. I really want to go. I want to be a part of the experience. And it was actually, believe it or not, watching the side stream events. How they had a dedicated stage to the side tournaments of EVO. I spent almost my entire weekend watching that. I laugh with my wife because she knows ahead of time it's EVO weekend. And I prepare her. I tell her, okay, honey, it's EVO weekend. You know, this is like college basketball for me. I'm going to be kind of locked away for about 3 days. So I spent almost my entire time watching the side event stage because I love watching those games. And especially watching Samurai Showdown 2, I really wanted to go again. I wanted to be able to go to a big tournament, especially EVO, and just experience what that's like. Now, I'm not a great player, Justin. It took a lot for me to consider myself to be an average player. When I first started, I remember being on Xbox Live thinking, oh my gosh, I've got an A ranking. I'm awesome. No, it was so bad. I'll never forget the first time I saw shirts online. He had mentioned I was in what he called scrub status. And I was like, oh man, that's not the best moment to hear something like that. But I leveled up, you know, especially attending the offline tournaments in the Midwest, where I would go down to Indianapolis or to Fort Wayne. If I had an opportunity, heading to Ohio. One time we actually competed against each other in Chicago, back in, I think it was called Nickel City, if I'm not mistaken. But it was so much fun. There's something just so special about it. And so, again, that spirit to compete has been rekindled in me through good friends like Dave and Brent, and now Joe and his wife Amber opening up their home to people to compete in an arcade. It's so special. And I would really like to have the EVO experience. And the games I do play, I feel that I'm very good at playing footsies. And I'm also very good at understanding neutral. And I think that because the new Samurai Showdown game came out, that would be the game I would enter for sure, because it looks like it's footsies and neutral based. Of course, all fighting games are, I know that. But if you look at a game like CVS2, especially with the way you just competed here at Combo Breaker, you didn't even need to land a combo. You were able to just out footsie your opponent. And I think that Samurai Showdown is that type of game as well. So I am looking forward to the opportunity to compete in that game if you were to choose me. And I will also try to support your brand and your sponsors, hyping them up as best as I am able to. So again, thank you so much, Justin, for giving this opportunity to players. Like I said, I love the FGC. I love competing. I love being a part of it. And no matter what, you're going to be making a big impact on somebody, and that's extremely awesome. I hope you'll consider me, and I look forward to seeing who you choose.